Hello, hockey fans. What's up, everybody? This is Sam Paolini, Sammy P Sports, coming at you on Friday, November 4th, and going to be going over all six of the NHL games that are on the board tonight. Not going to be hitting any weekend games. I plan on doing a show tomorrow as well for the 11 that are on tap tomorrow. So, without further ado, let's get back. Let's get into it for tonight. First off, we have Washington at Carolina. Um, Story here. I think everyone's been talking about the Alex Ovechkin getting benched. I think this is a story that everyone knows about when Boudreaux put Ovechkin on the ice late in that 5-4 win against Anaheim, their comeback win. But Ovi is come out and said that he understands why Boudreaux didn't put him on the ice. I understand that as well. At the same time, I don't think it really affects the way we look at the game tonight. If anything, it might light a little fire under Ovi. So that could be something that we could see from him. He has been known to, or some Russian players have been known, himself included, to take to be able to come out and that prove the coach wrong mentality. So we might see that tonight from Ovechkin. Like I said, it was a great comeback win for the Caps against the Ducks the other night. Now they got to take on Carolina, who beat Tampa Bay on Tuesday night 4-2. After the game, Washington does travel to Long Island to play the Islanders tomorrow night. Two injuries of note for this game that I think are pretty significant. Carolina's UC Jokinen, he'll be out with a lower body injury, a bad leg. Jokinen has 9 points so far in 12 games for the Hurricanes. While he's not the main cog of that offense, like say a Skinner or Stahl is, he's definitely a big enough part to take note of. So keep that in the back of your mind if you're taking Carolina tonight. Also, still out for Washington defenseman Mike Green. Looks like he won't be playing again tonight. Since Green's injury, the Caps have now gone 1-2. Losing on the road in Edmonton and in Washington before winning that come-from-behind game in Anaheim at home the other night. But they've given up 13 goals in the 3 games that Green's been out of the lineup. So, a big part of that team. And I've mentioned before, sometimes defensemen don't get enough credit for creating the offense that they do in a game in game out basis. So definitely something that definitely a player Washington wants to get in the lineup ASAP. Next game, Calgary at Buffalo. Buffalo's now lost 4 of its last 5 games. Once again, they play at home tonight, where they've lost 3 of their last 4 games at home. Pretty remarkable for a team as good and as talented as Buffalo is. I thought they were going to come out a little bit better against Philadelphia, but Coach Lindy Ruff bag skated the Sabres on Monday, put them through a really grueling practice Monday before the game on Tuesday. And so, trying to send a message to the players, what it takes to win after giving up a late lead against Florida and losing that game 3-2 at home. But apparently the players didn't get that message because the Flyers jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first 6 minutes. Forced Lindy Ruff to pull Ryan Miller in favor of Enroth there. The Sabres did settle back down and they did battle back, and they ended up losing the game 3-2. But it just makes me wonder why they didn't respond, right from the drop of the puck. Generally when a coach bag skates you and kind of gives you an ultimatum, generally the team responds. And it makes me think, maybe Lindy Ruff's time's coming to an end in Buffalo. Do the players not respond to him as well as they have in the past? It seems like it. Not saying he's a candidate to be fired by any means, but maybe the players don't want to play for him anymore. There's a definite possibility. I mean, let's face it; these guys, this core group of players, have been with Ruff for 5 or 6 years now, and maybe they're not drinking his Kool-Aid anymore. Maybe his song and dance gets a little old to those guys. I can't answer if they want to play for him anymore, but I do know that when a coach tries to send a message and tries to get the boys to come out and play hard, and they don't, you got to think something's wrong internally. So you'd hate for this team to have a team as talented as the Sabres to have a mutiny on their hands, but and that's the last thing that they want. But maybe they're just not buying into the rough system anymore, and something's going to have to give here with this team. So it's something to keep an eye on. Not saying that Ruff's job's in jeopardy by any means, but you have to wonder if the team is going to be playing for this guy still. I thought all that being said, I thought Buffalo was in a good spot against Columbus last week. They came off back-to-back losses at home against Carolina and Tampa Bay, and I think they're in a good spot tonight at home, coming off back-to-back losses. Against Florida and against the Tampa Bay. Against Florida and against the Philadelphia Flyers. So. Tonight they face a Calgary team that was beat up on a struggling Red Wings team last night, 4-1. Maybe a bit of a fatigue, and playing the back-to-back nights has me thinking that it's going to be a little bit of a letdown spot for Calgary here. It seems that the only way to look here is Buffalo in this, considering the situation, and even with that price tag. So, moving on to the Montreal-Ottawa game. Montreal's won its last 3 games after firing assistant Perry Pern. Senators have won 6 of their last 7 games. They did lose that last game in Boston. I did mention on the show here where I thought they were in a very difficult spot, kind of a sandwich scheduling spot with travel against the Bruins there. And the Bruins proved to wear them down late, winning that game 5-3. I think this should be a great battle up here tonight in Ottawa. Both teams seem like they have a little rejuvenation. They seem excited to play, and they're starting to get some confidence coming into the game. So Daniel Alfredsson is still out with concussion for Ottawa, a big piece of that offense that might have them, they are not as healthy as they were earlier in the season. But that being said, Montreal still without Scott Gomez. They have been winning games on defense and goaltending alone. Carey Price has been playing great for them. I think we'll see a very defensive effort here tonight from both teams, and this game can go either way. Chicago at Tampa Bay. Chicago last night, picked up 2 points in Florida after blowing a 2-0 lead in Florida. They won in a shootout, ended up winning 3-2, picking up 2 points there on the road. And now they face a Lightning team who's won their last 3 at home. Have been playing a lot better at home than on the road this year, this Tampa Bay team. I've mentioned on the show plenty of times the lack of defense that Tampa Bay has shown at times throughout the season, and it's pretty important that and I always say defense plays a critical role in the team's success, and I think this and that's really an understatement. I think what this Tampa Bay team is. I dug up these stats to help prove my point with this Tampa Bay team, and it's pretty amazing. The 5 wins that Tampa has had this season, they've given up just 5 goals, so averaging just 1 goal a game against in their 5 wins, and they've gone under the total 3-1-1 in those 5 games. In their 7 losses this season, Lightning have given up 34 goals in those 7 games, which is an average of 4.85 goals a game. Needless to say, in those 7 games, you would think that the games have gone over, and more so than not, they have 5-2 to the over in their 7 losses. So, it's definitely a trend to take note of, that when this Tampa Bay team plays good defense, they're going to win the games. When they're winning games, they're playing good defense, and that goes hand in hand. So they're fully rested tonight against the Chicago team who did play last night. Lightning's coach Guy Boucher did run them through a grueling practice on Wednesday. He was very disappointed in the way they came out and played in Carolina, losing that game 4-2. But they looked watching that game, they looked very disoriented and lost in that first period and that first half of the game. And so Boucher wasn't pleased with the performance. Thought they were very lackadaisical, which I thought the same. So they worked on a lot of the problems in that Wednesday practice. It was more of a bag skate than a practice, though, from reading the article in the Tampa Bay paper. So there really should be no excuses tonight at home for this Tampa Bay team. If they want to be a top team in the NHL this season, they need to come out with a big effort tonight. Vancouver at St. Louis. Vancouver once again looked disinterested last night, losing 5-1 to the Wild in Minnesota. I'm not really sure what to think of this Vancouver team sometimes, but I am sticking with my original prediction that this team will have a very successful road trip. They are 1-1 now on this road trip, and I think we'll see some success moving forward with this team. But they get a St. Louis team that they come into St. Louis, and then last week St. Louis beat them 3-0 on their home ice. So could be a little bit of a revenge spot here for Vancouver. Since that 3-0 win in Vancouver, the Blues dropped their last two games against Edmonton and Calgary to finish up that 4-game West Coast Canadian road trip. Perhaps maybe a sense of accomplishment for the players going into Philadelphia winning, going into Vancouver winning two of the first four games of that road trip, and so maybe you get there's a classic case of taking the players taking their foot off the gas when things go a little better than expected to start a road trip. So looks like Elliott's going to get the start net tonight for the Blues. I've really praised this kid throughout the year so far. 4-1, playing some great hockey to start the year, and I think the Blues have a very promising future if he continues to play as well as he has been. One thing to take note of tonight, if you're looking at this game, the big discrepancy in special teams. Canucks have been red hot, killing off penalties to start the season. They've killed 30 of their last 31 penalties. And the Blues have been absolutely dismal on their power play, scoring just 3 goals in 36 attempts this season, which is dead last in the NHL at 8.3% on the power play. St. Louis also isn't getting the job done defensively on their penalty kill. They're second to last, in the NHL, killing off just 72.2% of their penalties. So, despite the travel and the back-to-back games here tonight, Vancouver, may be able to do enough on special teams here tonight to win this one on the road. Colorado at Dallas, last game on the board. I mentioned last week the bad run I thought we'd see the Avs go on, and we've seen it now from them. They've now lost 3 of their last 4 games, not being able to live up to those lofty expectations they kind of put on the table for themselves to start this season. And now they go into a team, a Dallas team that's 5-1 at home to start the season. The one saving grace for the Avs may be them going on the road, as they're 6-1 on the road to start the season. So something's going to definitely have to give here. A great home team against a great road team to start the season. Both teams that have been getting great goaltending. Surprise, I think Varlamov for Colorado has been playing great in net for them. Obviously, I've mentioned Kari Lehtinen on this show, who I think has been the MVP to start this season. He's been nothing less than spectacular for this Dallas team, single-handedly winning games and stealing games to start the season. Like I said, something's going to have to give tonight. I think the lack of scoring for the Avs in their last 4 games, they've averaged less than 2 goals a game scoring in their last 4, and that is facing a good defensive team like Dallas and a good goaltender like Lehtinen. That definitely gives the Stars a little bit of an advantage there. So that's it for today. Tomorrow, like I said, there's 11 games on the board. I will more than likely be back doing a show for that. So enjoy your Friday night. Good luck with the games, and goodbye.